All right, welcome everybody. Welcome. Happy Friday. So today I wanted to, I did a training a couple days ago, and I realized after the fact, I was like, you know what? I kind of left that, I think purposely so, in one aspect of what I was teaching, a little too strategic. It was like, okay, that's great, and I'll talk about it in just a second, about like, oh, you're not your thoughts. That's what I titled this one. You are not your thoughts. And it's what John and I, my brother, if you don't know us, I'm Chris Yaks, this is John Yaks, right over there. He's the AV guy, for right now anyway. What we're always intent on doing is trying to teach something that you can actually utilize and is very practical. And this is actually born from two places. One, when we were growing up, we had a dad who was like a super meditator. So like this idea of yoga and spirituality was just kind of interwoven into our lives. But because he was a meditator, and this was back in like the 70s, 80s, right? Like when it was like, you know, it's been happening for thousands of years, quite honestly. But like in this area, there was a community that was built in the 70s around the Association for Research and Enlightenment and meditation. And it just meant we had a bunch of crazy hippies hanging out with us all the time. And like they would have these high-minded conversations about spirituality, and like my dad, God bless him, I love him to death, but he was like at a certain point he was saying like, I am not your father, God is your father. And I'm like, dude, I'm 6. I hope you're my dad. But it was just like, it was like, but what do I do with that? That was my point. It's like, what do I do with that information? Even if it's true, I'm not like going off and applying it. And so we want all the information that we give you to be applicable and to be practical. And that was born from our martial arts days, meaning we would learn, and it was very effective, like martial arts, those Jeet Kune Do concepts, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and this was like, you learn a technique today, and you're able to use it tonight if need be, God forbid. That actually never happened, like we didn't learn it and then use it. We weren't going out and like getting in street fights. But the idea was keep it simple, keep it practical, and make it relatable so people can actually use it. So my hope for you is that this information is like, oh, that actually, I can use that and I can see what you're talking about. So if you are live with me, will you give me a hashtag team live? That would be awesome so I know that you're there. And if you are watching this as a replay, do a hashtag team replay if you're gonna watch this after we're done. Okay, so check this out. So here it is. Here the teaching is you are not your thoughts, right? You are the one who witnesses your thoughts. But this is why we're in the predicament we are. Everyone is walking around thinking that who you are is a product of your thinking. Now, in a sense, how you think does create yourself, and a lot of us are just creating our old former selves over and over and over again, but who you actually are isn't your thinking, right? Descartes, way back in the day, that French philosopher, I think he was French, he equated thinking with being. I think, therefore I am. Bullshit, that's not true. Hashtag bullshit. No, I'm just kidding. You can do that if you want to. So he set us off the wrong course. He equated thinking with being as if your beingness was a product of your thinking, and it's not true. And so what I want to do today, what we're going to get into, is a super simple, quick meditation that gives you this understanding as an experience. The power of yoga isn't in philosophy. It isn't in dogma. It isn't in you having to believe something. It's in direct application, direct experience of this information, of these concepts, so that you know as a verifiable truth of experience that it's real for you. So that's what I'm going to give you as we get into this, is the actual meditation that's going to disentangle the mind from the thinking, from you from the thinking mind. So here's the reason this is so challenging, is because you, in the center, so think of like deep inside of yourself, there's this like little seat. And that seat is where you sit, and you're just witnessing everything. Thoughts happen, oh, there's a thought. Feelings happen, oh, that's a feeling. I see people, I see lights, I see my brother, I see all that stuff, oh, that's all happening, and you're just there witnessing. What happens is that little beingness, that witnessing presence, has been focusing so long on feelings and thoughts and all these sense perceptions that we've begun to identify ourselves with this. So it feels like every thought I have is who I am. And why wouldn't it be? It's inside of my head. It's got to be me because it's inside of me. But it's not true. In fact, in the language we use, we can see that there is a space between who I am and the thought. If you've ever thought, like if you've ever been awake at night and you can't go to sleep, and you say to yourself, I can't stop thinking. I can't stop my mind. There is a separation, even in the language we use, that there is an I and there is a thought. There is an I and there is a thought. And what we're going to talk about today is how to disentangle that. Why is that important? Because right now, we are all going through such a crazy time of our lives. I hope one day we will look back at this and be like, holy shit, we made it. Let's celebrate. But right now, there is an inordinate amount of stress, an inordinate amount of uncertainty. And what's happening is if we can't control what's going on in here, if we allow it to just be like run amok and become relentless, and because the mind has this like, you're crazy for good reason. It's from evolution. Like you're going to focus on the negative. We all do. Why? Because it's helped us survive. Right? Hashtag evolution is why I'm crazy, right? If you're feeling me on that one. And so don't think like if you're like constantly thinking about worst case scenarios, it's by nature, right? We've all here, our species is here and has survived this long because we were able to focus on what could potentially kill us and harm us versus what is beautiful in the environment, right? That saves us. That may not save us. So the point is, here you are sitting inside, deep inside, and you're having these thoughts, but you are not your thoughts, right? But your thinking does influence how you feel. And so all of a sudden, if we can gain access into this witnessing presence and recognize that we are not our thoughts, and then do a practice that helps us gain more control over what flows through our awareness, then we can gain more control over how we feel. And we all need that right now, to have a little modicum of control in this world that feels like we're totally like powerless. We need to be able to navigate into our power. And our power is born from first recognizing that what's going on in thoughts and feelings is not who we are, but when we get access to this point, we can then control what flows through our thinking, through our mind, and then we can then control how we feel. Right? We can literally be grateful in this chaos that we're living in. Cool? If you're following me, give me a hashtag following, because now I want to get into the tactics. The reason we think we are thinking, is because we've just been focusing on it for so long, for years and years. However old you are, like there's a point at which you started doing that, and now it's time to disentangle it. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to do a very quick meditation. So if you have the ability, you can do this standing, you can sit. Either way, the idea is just to have a nice straight spine. Now, the meditation technique, I said it's like one of the simplest and most effective ways to disentangle the witnessing presence that's who you are from the thinking aspect of our minds, from the thinker. And so what we're going to do is simply ask ourselves, we're going to do a 3-minute meditation. The meditation is, what will be my next thought? If you've done any of our teacher trainings or any of our kind of higher end teacher trainings, retreats, and any one-on-one coaching stuff, this is something that we teach there. So I wanted to offer it to you all today because life is crazy and we all need a little help. So this is so simple. All you're going to do is take a seat, close the eyes, or stand up and close your eyes unless you're driving or doing something super important where you need your eyes open. You don't even have to close your eyes, quite honestly, but we need a straight spine and we just need to take a moment to be still physically. And then all you're going to do, it's so simple, we're just going to do this for 3 minutes, is you're going to start by asking yourself, what will be my next thought? And then just wait. When the thought happens, acknowledge it and be like, that's interesting. And then ask yourself again, what will be my next thought? Wait. Thought comes, that's interesting. And then repeat. Keep doing that over and over again. The analogy is this. You're like a cat, and you've found a mouse hole, and you're just watching it. And then the mouse comes out, it sees you, it gets freaked out, runs back in, you're like, there it is. And then what will be my next thought? Mouse comes out, that's your thought, runs back in, there it was.
Okay, what will be my next thought? You're just going to repeat this over and over again. Why? Because what it's going to do is going to give you the awareness for this split second, even if it's just a split second, literally a nanosecond of what will be my next thought. And you're just waiting, and there's this silence internally that happens. And the thought happens, you're like, oh, there it was. You've separated you as the witnessing presence from the mind, from the thinker. Cool? Give me some likes, give me some loves if you're excited. Likes and loves, likes and loves, likes and loves. A coach of ours is like, smash that like button, smash that love button if you're here. So smash that like and love button. Okay, let's meditate. And we'll smash some thoughts. Okay, so I'm going to do 3 minutes. You're going to hear the bell. And then that's it. It's really, I wish there was something like fancier about it, but it's not. Usually the simplest technique is the most effective, and this is one of them. What will be my next thought? So I'll say it out loud first, and then I'm going to give you 3 minutes just to play around with your mind. Cool? So let's sit up tall, close the eyes. And just start by breathing. And then ask yourself, what will be my next thought? And then just wait, watch, and listen. For most of us, it's already happened, and so just without judgment, repeat the question, what will be my next thought? What will be my next thought? What will be my next thought? Take a deep breath in and a slow breath out. And so, I hope just for even, and it's really important, like length of meditation matters in the long run, but not in the beginning. And so if you've never meditated, that was the first one, or you're just not really consistent with it, all it takes is just literally one moment of seeing that, oh, there, wait, that's it. I'm not thinking. And then boom, it clicks in. Even if it's just for a split second, that's a victory. This is my point. You don't have to believe in the philosophy that you are not your thinking. hopefully you just had an experience, a moment where you recognized, oh, I'm aware, but I'm not in thought. Right? And that's so powerful. So I hope that's what happened. If it didn't, and because literally for most people it's like, what would my next thought? Food. What would be my next thought? Dog. What would be my next thought? And it's just so compulsive. But the more you do it, the more space is created and you get to sit in the seat of awareness. And why? Why? Because we get to feel at peace, even when the world seems like it's falling down around us. We can maintain our center, literally sit in the center, that seat of awareness, and just bear witness to it so that we are empowered to take the actions, to focus on the thoughts that will empower us to feel a certain way so that we can keep momentum happening in our lives. That's why. So I hope you continue to meditate. I hope this was valuable for you. If it was, if you don't mind, give me a hashtag value down below. That would be awesome. Thank you so much for watching these. It's like John and I are teachers at heart, and we want to keep providing as much of what we know and understand, what we've been practicing doing for ourselves the last 20 plus years. And so we hope it helps. And thank you so much for being here. Big love, everybody.